Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel, English Journey Conversation. I'm very happy you are here. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe to support my channel. Hello, and welcome back. I'm really glad you are here today for another useful episode of English Journey Conversation. If this is your first time listening, I want to give you a big warm welcome. I'm happy you chose to join us. And if you've listened before, thank you so much for coming back.
It means a lot to me.
This podcast is a special place. It is not only for practicing English. It is also a place where you can learn something helpful for your life. Here, you will learn English in a simple and easy way. At the same time, you will also learn ideas about life, emotions, and personal growth. Today's topic is You Are Not Your Thoughts. At first, this idea might sound a little strange. You may think, what does that mean? Of course my thoughts are mine, right? Don't worry. I will explain it step by step in very simple words. By the end of this episode, you will understand it clearly. This topic is not only helpful for improving your English, it is also very important for your mental health and emotional well-being. Why talk about thoughts? Because many people believe that every thought they have must be true. When a thought comes into their mind, they accept it right away without questioning it. But this is not always correct. For example, imagine someone thinks, I'm not good enough. If they believe this thought, they may start to feel sad, stressed, or even scared. They may feel like they cannot do anything right. They may stop trying new things. This is because the thought feels real and strong. But here's the truth. Not every thought we have is true. Some thoughts are useful, but many thoughts come automatically. These automatic thoughts are often unhelpful and sometimes completely false. Some thoughts come from our past experiences. Some thoughts come from fears or worries. Sometimes our brain makes a story that is not true. We may not even notice it. But these thoughts can affect our emotions and our actions. This is why we need to learn an important skill. We need to learn how to notice our thoughts without believing everything they say. When we can do this, we feel calmer. We feel more confident. We feel more in control of our lives. When we understand that we are not our thoughts, we can choose which thoughts to trust and which thoughts to ignore. We can stop letting negative thoughts control us. We can live more peacefully and happily. And that is exactly what we're going to learn in today's episode. In this episode, we will practice together. Who is this for? This podcast is made for people who are learning English, but it is also for anyone who wants to grow as a person. Maybe you want to feel more confident. Maybe you want to feel calmer inside. Maybe you want to stop being upset by small thoughts that pop into your head. If any of these are true for you, then you are in the right place. By the end of this episode, you will understand your thoughts better. You will feel stronger inside. And of course, while learning these ideas, you will also be practicing English. You can listen carefully, repeat some parts out loud, and learn new words naturally. So let's begin this journey together, slowly, clearly, and one step at a time. What are thoughts? Let's start with a simple but important question. What are thoughts? Every single day, from the moment you wake up in the morning until the moment you go to sleep at night, your mind is busy creating thoughts. Your brain is always talking. Thoughts are like little sentences or small pictures in your mind. They can be about yourself, other people, or the world around you. Here are some examples. I need to call my friend. What should I eat for lunch today? I have to finish my homework. These are everyday thoughts. They are simple and normal. But sometimes our thoughts can be deeper or more emotional. For example, I don't think I can do this. What if something bad happens? These kinds of thoughts affect our feelings much more. They can make us feel happy, sad, worried, stressed, or even afraid. The important thing to remember is that everyone has thoughts. Having thoughts is normal. It is part of being human. Our brain is like a machine. It produces thoughts all the time, just like the heart keeps beating and the lungs keep breathing. Useful thoughts and unhelpful thoughts. Now that we understand what thoughts are, let's talk about the next step. Some thoughts are helpful. Some thoughts are not helpful. Some thoughts make us feel good and help us make decisions. Other thoughts are automatic and negative. They make us feel bad and confused. Useful thoughts are helpful and true. They can guide us to do the right thing.
For example, I need to study for my test.
I should call my friend. These thoughts help us act in a good way. Unhelpful thoughts are different. They are not always true. They can be negative or too strong. They can make us feel worried, scared, or sad. For example, I'm not good enough. Everyone is judging me. I will fail. These thoughts are not helpful because they make us feel bad and stop us from trying. The key idea is that not all thoughts are true. Some thoughts are just automatic and may not be real. And that is what we will learn more about in the next part. Now let's look at two kinds of thoughts, helpful thoughts and unhelpful thoughts. Some thoughts are very useful. They help us solve problems, make decisions, and keep us safe. For example, the thought, I should study now, is a helpful thought. It reminds you to learn, prepare for the future, and grow. Helpful thoughts support you and guide you to do the right thing. But not all thoughts are helpful. Some thoughts are actually very unhelpful. These thoughts can make us feel small, weak, or afraid. For example, I'm not good enough. This thought doesn't help at all. It only makes you feel bad about yourself. It makes you think you are not capable, and it can stop you from trying new things. Here is the key idea. Thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something, that does not mean it is true. Sometimes the brain creates thoughts that are completely false. But because the thought appears inside our head, we believe it. This is why learning to watch your thoughts is so powerful. If you can notice a thought without immediately believing it, then you begin to take control of your mind. You start to choose which thoughts you want to follow and which thoughts you want to ignore. This helps you feel calmer and more confident. Using metaphors to understand thoughts. One of the best ways to understand thoughts is through metaphors. A metaphor is a simple story or image that helps us see things more clearly. Let me share a few with you. 1. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Imagine you are looking at the sky on a windy day. You see clouds moving across the sky. Some clouds are small and white. Others are dark and heavy. But no matter what they look like, they keep moving. They don't stay forever. Thoughts are just like those clouds. Some thoughts are light and happy. Some thoughts are dark and heavy. But none of them stay forever. They come and go. And here is the important part. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. The sky is always there behind all the clouds. In the same way, you are always here behind all of your thoughts. A bad thought does not change who you are.
You are still you.
You are still strong and calm, even if a negative thought appears. 2. Thoughts are like cars on a road. Now imagine you are standing on the sidewalk watching cars drive by. Some cars are small. Some cars are big. Some are fast. Some are slow. But you are not in the cars. You're just watching them pass. Thoughts are like those cars. They come and go. You can watch them without getting inside. You don't have to follow every thought. You can just let them pass by. When you understand this, you can feel free. You don't have to be controlled by your thoughts. You can choose what you believe and what you ignore. This idea is very powerful. It helps you feel calm, confident, and more in control of your life. Now imagine you are standing on the sidewalk watching cars go by. Some cars are fast and some are slow. Some cars are loud and some are quiet. But you are not the cars. You are just standing there, watching them move. Thoughts are the same. They come and go. one after another. You don't need to jump into every car. You don't need to go wherever every thought wants to take you. You can simply notice the thoughts and let them pass by. 3. Thoughts are like a radio. Now think about your mind like a radio. A radio is always playing something. It might play music, news, stories, or voices. Sometimes the radio plays something useful. Sometimes it plays noise that is not helpful. But here is the good news. You can change the channel. You can also turn the volume down. You don't have to listen to everything the radio says. It is the same with your thoughts. Just because a thought appears in your mind doesn't mean it is important. You can notice it, decide if it is helpful, and then choose what to focus on. We rarely stop to think about our thoughts, but doing that can explain a lot about why we sometimes feel bad, worried, or stressed. The truth is that most of the time we believe our thoughts without checking if they are true or helpful. But why does this happen? Let's look at it step by step. Your brain is always working. It never stops. Even when you are resting or doing nothing, your brain is still active. It keeps creating thoughts all the time. Every day, you might have hundreds or even thousands of thoughts. Some of these thoughts are about the past, some are about the future, and some are about problems, fears, or things you need to do. This is completely normal. It is just how the brain works. The problem starts when we believe every thought we have. Because the thought comes from our own brain, we think it must be true. We trust it just because it is inside our head. We don't stop to ask simple questions like, is this thought really true? Or is this thought helpful? Instead, we accept the thought immediately. And once we accept it, the thought begins to control our feelings and actions. That is when suffering starts. Let's look at an example to understand this better. Imagine you walk into a room full of people. Suddenly, a thought appears in your mind. They don't like me. Maybe no one said anything. Maybe nobody smiled. But your brain created this thought anyway. And instantly, you begin to feel nervous, shy, or even sad. You might even start avoiding people or staying quiet. But if you think about it, is the thought true? Most likely, it is not. Maybe the people in the room were tired, stressed, or thinking about something else. Maybe they were just focused on their own thoughts. Still, your brain created a story and you believed it. So you felt bad because of a thought that was not real. Here is another common example. Sometimes, after making a mistake or comparing yourself to someone else, a thought appears, I'm not good enough. This thought can show up in many situations. You might think it after failing at something, or when you see someone who seems smarter, stronger, or more successful. You might feel like you are not as good as them. But again, this thought is just a story your brain tells you. It is not always true. In fact, it is often false. The brain is not always trying to trick us. It is simply trying to keep us safe and prepare us for danger. It uses shortcuts called automatic thoughts. These shortcuts help the brain react quickly, but they can also cause problems. When we accept these automatic thoughts as true, we begin to feel stressed, anxious, or sad. We start to believe we are not enough, or that people dislike us, even without real proof. The key is to learn to question your thoughts. You don't need to fight them or ignore them. You just need to pause and ask, is this thought true? Is it helpful? What evidence do I have? When you do this, you begin to see that many thoughts are not facts. They are just mental stories. And when you stop believing every story, you stop suffering so much. Sometimes a small thought can make us feel weak or small. For example, you might see someone who seems stronger, smarter, or more confident than you. Then a thought appears, I'm not as good as them. If you believe that thought, it can make you feel bad. But we must ask, is that thought a fact or just a feeling? Most of the time, it is only a feeling. Here is another example. Many people think, I can't do it. They worry that others will laugh at them, or that something bad will happen. These thoughts are very common, but they're just thoughts. They are not proof of anything. Still, when we believe them, they start to shape our life. When we believe the thought, "I can't do it," we begin to avoid taking risks. We stop trying new things. We stay in our comfort zone. We feel afraid, anxious, or sad. And all of this begins with one simple action: believing the thought. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever had a thought that made you feel bad about yourself? Maybe a thought that made you feel scared, ashamed, or not good enough. Take a moment to remember it. Where did that thought come from? Was it really the truth? Or was it just your brain reacting to a situation? The answer is, we all have these thoughts. It is normal. You are not alone. Everyone experiences thoughts that make them feel bad sometimes. The important thing is not to blame yourself. Instead, we need to understand where these thoughts come from. Many unhelpful thoughts come from our past. When we were children, we listened to many people. We listened to our family, teachers, friends, and even TV or social media. Sometimes the messages were kind and positive, but other times they were negative or hurtful. Over time, we started to repeat those messages in our minds. They became a part of our thinking. These repeated messages become automatic thoughts. Automatic thoughts are thoughts that appear quickly without us choosing them.
We do not decide to have them.
They just pop up in our minds. The important point is that we don't choose most of our thoughts, but we do choose what we do with them. Even though we cannot control every thought, we can control our response. We can learn to notice the thoughts when they appear. We can question them. We can ask, "Is this true? Is it helpful?" We can decide whether to believe the thought or not. We don't have to accept every thought that our brain creates. Here is a quick summary of this part. Our brain is always creating thoughts. Many of these thoughts appear automatically. We often believe them just because they are in our head. But not all thoughts are true. Some thoughts are based on old messages we learned when we were young. Some are based on fear or worry. The key is to notice them and question them before they control us. Not all thoughts are true. Some thoughts are old, negative, or simply wrong. The important skill is to notice the thought, pause, and then decide whether you want to believe it or not. When you begin to understand your thoughts, something amazing can happen. You gain power. You gain the power to change how you feel, how you act, and even how you live your life. This is the main message I want you to remember. You are not your thoughts. You don't have to believe every thought that appears in your mind. You don't have to follow every story your brain creates. You can choose what to do. And this choice gives you freedom. So, what does "you are not your thoughts" really mean? It means that thoughts are just thoughts. They are not who you are. They are not always true. They do not have to control you. You can watch them, notice them, and then decide what to do. Many people don't realize this. They think, "If I think it, it must be real. If my brain says it, it must be important." But that is not true. Your mind is like a storyteller. It creates many stories every day. Some stories are helpful. Some are funny, but some are unhelpful or even false. Here is the key point. You are not the story. You are the listener. You are the observer. Inside each of us, there is a calm part, like a quiet witness. This part can step back and simply notice what is happening. Just like watching a movie, this observer can notice your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And the best part is that the observer does not get lost in them. For example, imagine you feel nervous before an exam. Your thoughts might say, "I'm going to fail. I'm not smart enough." If you believe those thoughts, you will feel small and afraid. You might feel your heart beating faster. You might feel tense and stressed. But if you use your observer, you can step back and say, Oh, I notice I'm having a nervous thought right now. See the difference? When you step back, you are not trapped in the thought. You are simply noticing it. This changes everything. You stop being controlled by your thoughts. You become more calm and more in control. When you realize you are the observer, you can begin to choose what to do. You can decide to focus on what is real and helpful. You can choose to let go of thoughts that are not true. You can choose to be kind to yourself instead of believing the negative stories. This does not mean your thoughts will disappear. They will still come. But you will no longer feel powerless. You will no longer feel controlled by every thought. Instead, you will have the freedom to choose how you respond. So remember, thoughts are not facts. You are not your thoughts. You can notice them, question them, and choose what to believe. When you do this, you gain freedom and peace. When you notice your thoughts instead of believing them, you create space inside your mind. You can breathe. You can see more clearly the difference between the voice in your head and the person who is listening. Think about this for a moment. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears the voice. That is a powerful idea. Let's look at an example to understand this better. There is a big difference between these two sentences. I'm not smart. I have the thought that I'm not smart. The first sentence sounds final, heavy, and painful. It feels like a fact about who you are. It feels like a label that you cannot change. It can make you feel stuck and hopeless. The second sentence is lighter. It creates distance. It shows that the thought is just a thought. It is something that appeared in your mind, not a truth about your identity. That small change in language can make a big difference in how you feel. When you change the way you talk to yourself, you don't have to fight your thoughts anymore. You don't have to argue with them or try to force them away. You can simply notice them. Imagine a bird flying past your window. You might notice it and then let it continue flying. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to stop it. You just watch it pass by. Here is another everyday example. Imagine someone didn't say hello to you today. Your brain might quickly think, they must be angry with me. They don't like me. But instead of believing that thought right away, you can pause and say, I'm having the thought that they're angry with me. This pause gives you space. Maybe the truth is different. Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they didn't even see you. The thought came, but you didn't have to accept it as a fact. You gave yourself the chance to respond wisely. When you notice your thoughts, you begin to create space and freedom inside your mind. Being the observer of your thoughts does not mean you ignore your feelings. Feelings are real and important. You should not pretend they don't exist. But being an observer means you give yourself a little space before reacting. In that space, there is freedom. Freedom to pause. Freedom to breathe. Freedom to choose how you respond. Instead of reacting automatically to every thought, you can decide what is best. For example, if you feel jealous, you don't have to act on that jealousy right away. You can notice the feeling, take a breath, and then choose a better response. If you feel angry, you don't have to shout or say something you will regret. You can notice the anger, step back, and choose to calm down first. When you learn to pause like this, you stop being controlled by your thoughts. You start to control them. You start to live with more peace and confidence. You stop letting your mind tell you who you are or what will happen next. So remember, you are not the voice in your head. You are the listener. You can notice your thoughts, let them pass, and then choose what you want to do. This simple skill can change your life. When you stop reacting automatically to every thought, you step into your power. You begin to feel stronger and more in control. You start to understand something important. You are not your thoughts. So what does that really mean? It means that you are not your worries. You are not your fears. You are not your doubts. You are something much deeper, much kinder, and much wiser than the thoughts that appear in your mind. Think of thoughts like visitors. They come into your mind, stay for a while, and then leave. They don't stay forever. But you, the observer, are always there. You are calm, steady, and strong. No matter what thoughts pass through your mind, you remain the same inside. This is not something you learn perfectly in one day. It takes practice, just like learning a new skill. But each time you pause and say, "Wait, this is just a thought," you move one step closer to peace and control over your mind. That is a powerful step. So the next time a thought appears like, "I'm not good enough," or "this is too hard," try this.
Pause. Take a deep breath.
Tell yourself, "That's just a thought. I'm noticing it, but I don't have to believe it." And here is the beautiful part. Even with that thought in your head, you can still take action. You can still move forward.
Why?
Because you are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses what to believe and what to let go. Now, let's make this idea even easier to understand with some metaphors. A metaphor is a comparison that helps you picture something in your mind. When we talk about thoughts, metaphors are powerful because they show that thoughts are not permanent. They come and go, just like things in nature. Here is the first metaphor. Metaphor 1. Clouds in the sky. Imagine you are lying on the grass looking up at the sky. You see clouds moving slowly above you. Some are soft and white. Others are dark and heavy. But no matter what they look like, they all pass. They don't stay in one place forever. Thoughts are the same. They appear in your mind, but they don't last forever. Sometimes a thought might feel dark and heavy, like a storm cloud. It might feel scary or overwhelming. But just like clouds, thoughts move on. They pass by. They don't stay forever. The key is to remember that you are not the sky, and you are not the clouds. You are the one watching the sky. You are the observer. Another metaphor is helpful too. Metaphor 2. Waves in the ocean. Imagine you are standing at the edge of the ocean. You can see waves coming in and out. Some waves are big and strong. Others are small and gentle. But no matter how big the wave is, it eventually goes back into the sea. Thoughts are like waves. They come and go. You don't need to fight them. You can just watch them pass. These metaphors help us understand a simple truth. Thoughts are temporary. They are not permanent. They are not facts. They are not who you are. When you remember this, you can feel more calm and confident. You can handle difficult thoughts without letting them control you. You can live with more freedom. So the next time a negative thought appears, imagine it like a cloud or a wave. Notice it, but let it pass. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. And you have the power to choose what to believe. Thoughts come and go, just like things in nature. They stay for a short time, and then they leave. You don't need to chase them or hold on to them. You can just watch them pass by. Here is another metaphor that helps explain this idea. Metaphor 2. Waves in the ocean. Think about the ocean. It is always moving. Sometimes the waves are strong and loud. Sometimes they are soft and gentle. But no matter what, the waves always come and go. They rise, and then they fall. Your thoughts work in the same way. A big, strong thought may come into your mind that feels scary or stressful, like a giant wave. But even that strong thought will not last forever. It rises for a moment, and then it falls again. And here is the key idea. You are not the wave. You are the ocean itself. You are deep, calm, and steady underneath the surface, no matter what waves move on top. Your thoughts may be powerful, but they do not change who you are inside. Now let's look at some daily life examples to understand this better. Daily life example 1. Someone didn't say hello. Imagine you are walking into your office or your classroom. Someone you know walks past without saying hello. Right away, your brain creates a thought. They must be angry with me. Instantly, you feel uncomfortable. You start to worry and wonder what you did wrong. Maybe you even feel a little sad. But later you find out the truth. That person was just busy, tired, or lost in thought. Maybe they didn't even see you. That first thought, "they don't like me," was just a thought. It was not the truth. But for a moment you believed it. And that belief changed how you felt. This is what happens to many people every day. Thoughts appear quickly, and we accept them as facts. But often they are not true. They are just stories our mind tells us. Daily life example 2. Speaking in front of people. Here is another example. Imagine you are preparing to speak in front of a group of people. Suddenly a thought comes, "I will mess up. I'm not good at speaking." If you believe this thought, you will feel nervous. You may even try to avoid speaking. Your heart may start beating faster. Your hands may shake. You may feel your mind going blank. But if you pause and say, "I'm noticing the thought that I will mess up," you give yourself space. You are not trapped by the thought anymore. The thought loses its power. You can still move forward.
You can still speak.
And you may even surprise yourself by doing well. This is the power of noticing thoughts. It does not mean the thought disappears. It means the thought no longer controls you. Thoughts are temporary. They are not permanent. Even when a thought feels huge, like a storm or a giant wave, it will pass. It will rise and fall. Imagine you are about to give a presentation or do something important. Your brain may send a thought that makes you feel afraid. But if you remember that thoughts are like waves, you can stay calm. You can keep breathing. You can stay grounded. The thought may still be there, but it does not have to stop you. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses what to do next. So remember this simple truth. Thoughts are temporary. They come and go. You don't have to believe every thought. You can notice them, let them pass, and continue living your life with courage and confidence. Imagine you are about to talk in front of people. A thought appears in your mind. "I will mess up. I'm not good at speaking." That thought makes you nervous. Your hands may start to shake. You may feel small and worried. But here's the truth. That thought is not a fact. It is just a worry. It is not proof that you will fail. It is only a story your brain created. Then the talk ends. And guess what happens? You realize you did just fine. Maybe you even did great. The thought came, the thought went, and you are still here, stronger and more confident than before. This shows us something very important. Thoughts are temporary. They're not solid like a rock. They're not fixed like a wall. They are light, moving things like clouds in the sky, like waves in the ocean, or like cars passing on the road. You can see them. You can notice them. But you don't have to go with them. So the next time you have a strong or negative thought, try to pause and remember one of these metaphors. Tell yourself, "This is just a cloud. It will pass." Or, "This is just a wave. I don't need to fight it." These gentle reminders can help you feel calmer and more in control of your mind. Now, let's look at something very important. What happens when we believe negative thoughts? We already know that not every thought is true. Some thoughts are helpful, and some are not. The problem starts when we believe every thought that comes into our mind, especially the negative ones. Negative thoughts can change how we feel, how we act, and even how we see ourselves. How negative thoughts affect our feelings. When you believe a negative thought, it usually creates a negative feeling. For example, if you think, "I'm not good enough," you may feel sad or ashamed. If you think something bad will happen, you may feel anxious or afraid. If you think people don't like you, you may feel lonely or rejected. And if you keep repeating the same thought again and again in your head, the feeling grows stronger and stronger. The thought becomes louder. The feeling becomes heavier. You may start to feel trapped inside your mind. How negative thoughts affect your actions. Believing negative thoughts can also change what you do. If you think, "I can't do it," you may stop trying. You may avoid challenges. You may miss chances to grow and learn. If you believe, people will judge me, you may avoid social situations. You may stop talking to others. You may feel alone even when people are around you. If you believe, I'm not smart enough, you may stop studying or working hard. You may feel like giving up before you even start. How negative thoughts affect your identity. The most dangerous part is that negative thoughts can shape how you see yourself. If you constantly believe negative thoughts, you may start to believe that you are truly weak, unworthy, or not good enough. You may begin to define yourself by those thoughts. But remember, thoughts are not facts. They're just thoughts. They do not define who you are.
The choice you have.
You can choose not to believe every negative thought. You can choose to notice them, question them, and let them pass. You can choose to act in a way that matches your true values and goals. When you do this, you begin to feel freer. You begin to feel stronger. You begin to live more fully. So the next time a negative thought appears, remember, it is not a fact.
It is temporary.
You can notice it and choose what to do next. Let's look at another example. Speaking in front of people. Imagine you have to give a short talk. Just before you start, a thought appears. I will forget everything. People will laugh at me. If you believe this thought, you will feel nervous. Your body may start to react. Your voice may shake. Your heart may beat fast. Your hands may sweat. You might even try to avoid speaking at all. But here's the truth. That thought is not a fact. It is only a guess. You don't really know what will happen. People might actually listen carefully and enjoy what you say. But if you believe the negative thought too strongly, you won't even give yourself the chance to find out. The same thing happens when you want to try something new, like applying for a job, learning a new skill, or meeting new people. Then the thoughts come. I'm not ready. I will fail. They won't like me. If you believe these thoughts, you may stop yourself before you even begin. You stay in the same place, not because you can't move forward, but because the thoughts in your mind are telling you not to. This is what negative thoughts do. They limit you. They make your world smaller. They keep you from growing, learning, and trying new things. If you keep believing them, slowly you may start to think that the thoughts are you. You may start to say, I am a failure. I am weak. But here's the truth. That is not who you are. You are not your thoughts. You are much bigger, much stronger, and much wiser than the thoughts that pass through your mind. You are more than your thoughts. You are a person who has thoughts. But you also have something even more powerful, the ability to question those thoughts and choose something better. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever told yourself, I can't do it, and then later you did it anyway? Maybe you were afraid to try something, but you tried anyway and succeeded. That moment shows us something important. The thought was not true. It was only a worry. When you look back, you might realize the thought was just a fear trying to protect you. Your brain was trying to keep you safe from possible failure or embarrassment. But sometimes the brain is too cautious. It stops you from taking chances that could help you grow. So, what can you do when negative thoughts appear? First, notice the thought. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Second, ask yourself, is this thought true? Third, ask, is it helpful? Fourth, decide what you want to do next. You might not always feel confident right away. That's okay. You don't need to feel brave to act. You just need to take small steps, even with the thought still there. You can move forward even when you are afraid. That is the real power you have. You can take action even when your mind tries to stop you. You can choose to act even if the thought says you can't. You can choose to keep going even if the thought says you will fail. This is how you grow. This is how you become stronger. This is how you build confidence. And the most important thing to remember is this: you are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your doubts. You are something deeper. You are the person who notices the thoughts and chooses what to do next. So the next time a negative thought appears, remember that it is not a fact. It is just a thought. You can notice it, but you don't have to believe it. You can still move forward. You can still try. You can still grow. The strength was inside you all along, but the thought tried to hide it. Negative thoughts are not always loud. Sometimes they whisper quietly. You're not ready. You might fail. Don't try. Even though the whisper is small, it can stop a big dream if we listen to it for too long. But here is the good news. You don't have to believe every negative thought. You can pause, notice it, and ask questions like, is this thought really true? Is this thought helping me? What would I do if I didn't believe this thought? These questions create space between you and the thought. They help you see more clearly. They remind you that you are not your fear and not your failure. You are so much more. Now, let's learn how to deal with negative thoughts in a healthier way. Everyone has negative thoughts sometimes. That is normal. The key is not to fight them, but to respond gently. You don't need to argue with your thoughts. You just need to notice them, name them, and let them go. Step 1. Notice the thought. When a negative thought shows up, stop for a moment and notice it. It might sound like, I'm going to fail. They don't like me. I'm not smart enough. Whatever the thought is, just recognize it. Say to yourself, oh, a thought has appeared. Don't push it away. Don't call it bad. Just notice it like you would notice a bird flying past your window or a car driving down the street. Step 2. Name the thought. Instead of saying, I'm going to fail, try saying, this is a worrying thought, or this is a fear thought. By naming it, you create a little space between you and the thought. It becomes something you can observe, not something that defines you. It's not the truth. It's not your identity. It's simply something your brain is producing right now. Step 3. Take a deep breath. When negative thoughts appear, your body often feels tight or stressed. Your shoulders rise. Your stomach feels heavy. Your breathing becomes shallow. So take a deep breath. Slowly inhale, then slowly exhale. Breathing helps your body calm down. It reminds your brain that you are safe. Breathing also gives you a moment to think. It gives you a pause between the thought and your reaction. In that pause, you can choose what to do next. Step 4. Choose a helpful response. After you notice and name the thought, and after you take a deep breath, ask yourself what you want to do next. You can choose a response that supports your goals and your values. You can choose to move forward, even if you feel nervous. For example, if the thought says, I'm not good enough, you can respond with something like, I am trying my best. I am learning. It's okay to make mistakes. I can take one small step. You don't need to believe the thought. You can choose to act anyway. Step 5. Let it go. Finally, let the thought pass. You don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to argue with it. You can simply watch it fade away like a cloud moving across the sky. Negative thoughts are normal, but they don't have to control your life. You can learn to respond to them with kindness and wisdom. Each time you practice these steps, you become stronger. You become more confident. You become more free. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. You are the one who chooses what to believe. You are the one who decides how to act. One of the easiest ways to calm yourself is to take a deep breath. Let's try it together. Inhale slowly through your nose. Then exhale gently through your mouth. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Even 1 or 2 deep breaths can help you feel more relaxed, more steady, and more in control. Step 4. Say something kind to yourself. Now, gently remind yourself, this is just a thought. I don't have to believe it. This sentence may be small, but it is very powerful. It reminds you that you are in charge, not the thought. The thought may sound strong, but you are stronger. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to prove it wrong. You can just notice it, breathe, and let it pass. Step 5. Let the thought go. Finally, practice letting the thought go. Imagine the thought is like a leaf floating on a river. You see it, you notice it, and then you let it drift away downstream. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to hold on to it. You simply let it go. When a negative thought appears, you don't need to hold on to it. You can watch it and then let it float away. Imagine the thought is a leaf resting on a river. You see the leaf, you notice it, and then you watch it drift downstream, farther and farther away, until it disappears. Or imagine the thought is like a balloon in your hand. At first, you hold the string tightly, but then you decide to release it. The balloon rises gently into the sky, higher and higher, until it is out of sight. This is the practice of not holding your thoughts too tightly. You let them move, just like they came. You can even say quietly to yourself, "I see you, thought. You're free to go now." This practice is gentle. It is kind. It is not about fighting with your mind. It is not about forcing yourself to only have positive thoughts. It is about creating space. Space to breathe. Space to choose. Space to be kind to yourself. A simple activity to try. Here is a simple activity you can do anytime you notice a negative thought. Notice the thought. "Oh, I'm having a thought." Name it. This is a worrying thought. Breathe. Take a slow, deep breath. Remind yourself this is just a thought. I don't have to believe it. Let it go. Imagine the thought floating away like a leaf or a balloon. This practice may feel strange at first, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You begin to feel more calm. You begin to feel more in control. You begin to realize that thoughts come and go, and you don't have to chase them. You don't need to fix every thought. You don't need to make your mind quiet all the time. You just need to give yourself space. Space to breathe, space to choose, and space to be kind to yourself. Now I want to give you a simple practice you can use anytime you notice a negative thought. I call it the 5-step thought break. It is easy, fast, and it helps you stop being controlled by your thoughts. Step 1. Pause. When you feel bad, heavy, or worried, stop for just a moment. Be still. Give yourself a few seconds of quiet. You don't need to do anything. Just pause. This little pause is powerful because it interrupts the automatic reaction of your mind. Step 2. Notice. Ask yourself, what thought is in my mind right now? Bring the thought into the light. Just notice it. Don't try to push it away. Don't judge it. Just see it for what it is, a thought. Step 3. Name. Instead of saying, "I'm going to fail," try saying, "This is a fear thought," or "This is a self-doubt thought." Naming the thought reminds you that this is not who you are. It is just a type of thought passing through your mind. It is not the truth. It is not your identity. Step 4. Breathe. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Breathe slowly in through your nose and gently out through your mouth. With every breath, feel your body soften and your mind calm down. Your shoulders relax. Your chest opens. Your thoughts begin to slow. Breathing helps you come back to the present moment. It reminds your brain that you are safe. It gives you time to choose your next step. Step 5. Respond. Now say something kind to yourself. You might whisper, "It's just a thought. I don't have to believe it." Then continue with your day. You don't need to fight the thought. You don't need to prove it wrong. You just notice it, breathe, and let it go. You can do this whole practice quietly in your mind. But sometimes writing it down helps even more. Many people keep a small notebook. They write the negative thought, then they write the name of the thought, and finally they write a gentle response. Over time, this builds a habit. You start to see your thoughts more clearly. You stop being controlled by them. At first, negative thoughts may come quickly, one after another. That is normal. But the more you practice the 5-step thought break, the earlier you will notice them. You will begin to respond with more calmness and less fear. You will feel more in control, more peaceful, and more confident. And remember, You don't have to be perfect. Some days it will feel easy. Other days it will feel harder. That is okay. Every time you pause, breathe, and choose kindness, you are making progress. So the next time a negative thought appears, try this simple process. Notice it. Name it. Breathe. Remind yourself you don't have to believe it. Let it go. Because here is the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your worries. You are not your fears. You are not your doubts. You are the one who notices them. You are the one who chooses what to believe. And that choice gives you freedom. You are the one who sees your thoughts, understands them, and chooses how to respond with wisdom and care. That is your real power. The power of choosing your response. Now we come to a very powerful idea. You cannot always control your thoughts. Thoughts come and go on their own. Some are positive, some are negative, and some are confusing. This is completely normal. It is part of being human. The important thing is not to try to stop every thought. That is almost impossible. The real power is in how you respond to your thoughts. When a thought appears, you get to decide what to do with it. You can choose to react with kindness. You can choose to stay calm. You can choose not to let the thought control your feelings or your actions. Think about this. When a friend feels worried or sad, what do? You don't shout at them. You don't tell them, stop feeling that way. You don't say, don't think like that. No, you are kind. You are patient. You might say, it's okay. I'm here for you. Or, let's take a deep breath together. Now imagine treating yourself the same way. When a difficult thought comes, respond gently. Speak to yourself like a good friend would. That is the power of choosing your response. Giving yourself kindness. You can give yourself the same kindness you would give to a friend. When your thoughts feel heavy or stressful, you don't need to fight them or push them away. Instead, you can meet them with calmness. One way to do this is by using short mantras. A mantra is a simple, positive sentence that you repeat quietly in your mind. These mantras act like gentle reminders. They bring you back to peace. They remind you of your strength and help you feel steady again, even when your mind is noisy. Here are 2 mantras you can try. 1. I am more than my thoughts. Say this whenever negative or stressful thoughts appear. This mantra reminds you that you are bigger than any single thought. Thoughts come and go. They do not define you. 2. I can choose how I respond. This mantra helps you remember that you always have a choice. You may not control the thought, but you control your reaction. You can choose kindness, calmness, and strength. When you repeat these mantras, you are not pretending that your thoughts don't exist. You are simply choosing not to let them control you. You are reminding yourself that you are more than your worries, fears, and doubts. How to respond when thoughts feel strong. Sometimes thoughts feel very strong. They may feel like a storm in your mind. When this happens, try this simple approach. Pause. Stop for a moment and breathe. Notice the thought. Say, oh, I'm having that thought again. Name it. This is a fear thought. Use a mantra. Say, I am more than my thoughts, or I can choose how I respond. Choose your next step. You might decide to keep going with your task, or you might choose to take a break and do something calming. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes. You begin to feel more in control. You begin to feel calmer. You begin to feel stronger. A final thought. Remember, your thoughts are not your enemy. They are just part of your mind. You don't need to fight them. You just need to respond to them with kindness. When you treat your thoughts gently, you begin to feel peace. You begin to feel freedom. You begin to live more fully. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them, understands them, and chooses your response. Thoughts come and go like visitors, but you remain strong, steady, and present. When you choose how to respond, you can say to yourself, I choose peace. This mantra reminds you that you always have a choice. Even if your thoughts are loud or confusing, you can still choose calmness inside. You can still choose peace in your heart, no matter what your mind is saying. When you repeat these mantras, it is like planting small seeds of calm and kindness in your mind. At first, the seeds are small, but the more you practice, the more they grow. Over time, they turn into strong roots of confidence and peace. These roots help you face difficult thoughts and feelings with more strength and patience. Choosing your response with wisdom. Now remember this. Choosing your response does not mean ignoring your feelings. It does not mean pretending everything is fine. Instead, it means giving yourself space to feel whatever you feel. But you do not let those feelings control you. You can notice the thought. You can accept that it is there. Then you can decide how you want to act. This is how you stay calm and strong even when your thoughts feel stormy. When you practice choosing your response, you also learn more about yourself. You discover that underneath every thought and feeling, there is an inner calm, like still water deep in the ocean. That calm is always there, waiting for you. You learn that you are the captain of your own mind. Thoughts are like winds. They blow in different directions, but you hold the steering wheel. And with kindness and wisdom, you can guide yourself where you want to go. A simple practice to try. So next time a thought worries you or scares you, try this.
Pause.
Be still for just a moment.
Breathe.
Take one slow, deep breath. Say your mantra. Whisper to yourself, I am more than my thoughts, or I choose peace. Notice how your body changes. Feel how your body softens. Notice how your heart feels a little lighter. Continue. Carry that calmness into the rest of your day. This practice is simple, but it works. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to make your thoughts disappear. You just need to pause, breathe, and choose peace. Why this matters? The reason this matters is that you are not controlled by your thoughts. You are not controlled by your fears, worries, or doubts. You are the one who decides what to do next. When you choose peace, you are choosing your true self. You are choosing your strength. You are choosing your kindness. You are choosing a life where you feel more calm, more confident, and more free. So remember, thoughts may come and go, but you are always here. You are the one who notices them. You are the one who chooses how to respond. And you can always choose peace. Each time you practice pausing, breathing, and choosing peace, you build strength inside yourself. You build calmness. You build peace. You're showing yourself love and care. Final thoughts and encouragement. As we come to the end of this episode, I want you to remember the most important message. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just ideas. They are just feelings. They are just whispers in your mind. They come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Sometimes they are light and bright. Sometimes they are heavy and dark. But no matter what kind of clouds appear, the sky, the real you, remains wide and open. You are much more than any thought. You are the one who sees the thoughts. You are the one who chooses how to respond. We have learned together that thoughts can rise and fall like waves in the ocean. Sometimes they bring joy. Sometimes they bring worry. That is completely normal. What matters most is how you see these thoughts and how you respond to them. I encourage you to keep practicing this simple but powerful skill. Observe your thoughts.
Breathe.
Choose your response with kindness. Every time you do, you become stronger, calmer, and more confident. Step by step, you create a life with more peace, more happiness, and more freedom. Final reflection and closing message. When you notice a thought, remember there is no need to fight it. There is no need to judge it. Simply watch it. Name it gently. Then take a slow, deep breath. Say quietly to yourself, "This is just a thought. I don't have to believe it. Every time you do this, you create a little more space between you and your mind. You begin to feel calmer, clearer, and more in control. Instead of being pulled around by your thoughts, you step back and see them for what they are, just passing visitors. Thoughts do not define who you are. They are not permanent. They are not facts. They rise. They stay for a little while, and then they move on.
You are not your thoughts.
You are the sky that holds the clouds. You are the ocean that holds the waves. You are the calm observer that watches everything come and go. You are stronger than your worries. You are kinder than your doubts. You are free. And that is the most important truth to remember. You are the one who notices your thoughts. You are the one who decides what to hold on to and what to let go. This simple understanding can bring you a lot of peace, confidence, and a deep sense of happiness. Like any skill, learning to step back from your thoughts takes time. It is like learning to ride a bike, play a song on the piano, or speak a new language. Some days it will feel natural and easy. Other days it may feel harder. But every time you practice, you get stronger. You build patience. You train your mind to be kinder, gentler, and freer. So as you go through your day, carry this reminder with you. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. You are the calm space behind the stories your mind tells. You have the power to choose peace. You have the power to choose kindness. You have the power to choose love for yourself and for others. A note of gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today on English Journey Conversation. I am truly happy that you spent this time with me, exploring the powerful idea that you are more than your thoughts. This message can help you in many parts of your life, including learning English. If you found this episode helpful, I invite you to listen to it again anytime. Repeating it will help you understand more deeply and feel even more confident. You can also share this episode with a friend, a family member, or anyone who is learning English or wants to grow personally. Sharing helps others, and it also supports the channel so I can continue making more helpful episodes for you.
A simple practice to try.
Here is one last tip. Choose one or two key sentences from today's episode and say them out loud. For example, I am more than my thoughts. It's just a thought. I don't have to believe it. Speaking these sentences out loud helps you improve your pronunciation, build confidence, and remember the message more clearly. You can repeat them in the morning, during the day, or before bed. The more you say them, the more they become part of you. A final reminder. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to stop all negative thoughts. You just need to practice noticing them and choosing what to do next. With time, this becomes easier. Every time you pause, breathe, and choose peace, you are making progress. You are becoming calmer. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming more free. Remember, thoughts are just visitors. They come and go, but you are the sky that holds the clouds. You are the ocean that holds the waves. You are the calm, steady observer who is always there.